Anonymous is here to bring you an exclusive look into what may be one of the most staggeringly corrupt acts ever committed by a U.S. president. And no, this isn't an exaggeration. President T is once again monetizing his position in a way that most people would deem unethical, if not outright illegal. He's essentially selling access to himself and the White House. But here's the kicker. It might be legal. Now, President T has always been no stranger to making money off his position, from selling branded polyester pajamas to golf paddles. He's marketed everything from his winning brand to even items promoting the violation of the 22nd Amendment. But when you've already sold everything from salvation to your own cent, what's left? How about direct access to the President of the United States himself, in what some have called the most corrupt thing a president has ever done? T's Memecoin website offered the top 220 holders of his Memecoin an exclusive opportunity dinner with him at his private club in Washington, D.C. Not only that, but the top 25 holders would also enjoy an ultra-exclusive private reception and even a VIP tour of the White House. That's right. Direct access to the president for the highest bidders. The site wasn't shy about it. They even boasted that buyers would be dining with the president and hearing firsthand about the future of cryptocurrency. And let's be clear, the value of this Memecoin, despite being entirely worthless, surged by over 50% after this announcement, pushing its market cap to $27 billion. This move reeked of self-enrichment, and critics, including lawmakers, are questioning whether it's legal. After all, the very same president who launched the Memecoin before his second term has earned millions in fees from it, while at the same time pushing cryptocurrency policies that have benefited his own financial interests. The fact that he was overseeing the regulation of the cryptocurrency industry while personally profiting from it raises concerns about conflicts of interest. For a leader who promised to drain the swamp, it seems like he's doing just the opposite, filling it up with personal gain. But does this all cross the line into illegal activity? Let's break it down. Memecoins, like coin, hold no intrinsic value. They're based entirely on internet culture and memes, and people buy them hoping for a return on their investment. But if they're buying them just for a chance to meet the president, doesn't that cross into pay-to-play corruption? Senators Elizabeth Warren and Adam Schiff certainly think so, and they've written to the U.S. Office of Government Ethics to demand a probe. They argue that T may be violating federal ethics rules and bribery laws by selling access to his office in exchange for financial gain. This isn't just about selling access to a powerful man, though. It's also about what this behavior represents. The idea that the highest office in the land can be bought by the highest bidder is a troubling one. This sets a dangerous precedent, where democracy itself becomes an auction. It's a world where influence and power are no longer distributed through fair political processes, but instead handed out to those who can afford it. The very fabric of democracy begins to fray as political influence is commodified. Despite the ethical question, its legal team is likely to argue that this is all part of a private business deal, separate from his presidential duties. But let's not forget the Constitution's emoluments clause, which prohibits the president from accepting gifts or payments from foreign governments or entities without congressional approval. This raises a serious question. Is selling access to the president through a private business venture a violation of this rule? Some people argue that it's just a gray area, but the fact that T has hosted dinners for big-money donors without such scrutiny complicates the matter. The key difference with the Memecoin dinner is that it's marketed as a business opportunity, one where the highest bidder gets a chance to meet the president, and that's something that raises red flags for many, including critics who see it as a blatant attempt to profit off presidential influence. So what can be done about this? Unfortunately, under the current political landscape, not much. With a Republican-controlled Congress, the chances of any immediate consequences are slim. However, a future administration might be able to hold T accountable, especially if foreign actors use this system to influence U.S. policy. What's particularly disturbing is the notion that foreign governments and corporations could be using T-Coin as a way to buy influence over U.S. policy, all without revealing their identities. The promotion of this dinner, with its promises of private access to the president, only exacerbates these concerns. The idea that foreign entities could have the opportunity to directly influence a sitting president's actions through financial contributions to his business ventures is not just unethical, it is potentially dangerous. It opens the door for foreign powers to manipulate the highest office in the land for their own purposes, and it undermines the integrity of the American government. As it stands, the Memecoin dinner is raising serious questions about the intersection of business politics and ethics. The message is clear. Access to the president should not be for sale, and the American people deserve to know that their leaders are making decisions that benefit the nation, not their pockets. If you believe in upholding the integrity of our democracy, it's time to speak out. Demand accountability, and ensure that no one, regardless of their position, can profit from the highest office in the land. This is more than just a scandal. It's a fundamental issue of trust, and that's why we need to keep the conversation going. Now, whether or not anything happens depends on us. The laws may not be enough. But if the people demand action, change can happen. Stay vigilant and keep pushing for accountability, because this is the kind of corruption we cannot afford to ignore. The longer we let this type of behavior slide, the closer we come to a future where every office, every decision, and every law can be bought and sold. It's up to us to stand up against this and to make sure that the government remains a place for public service, not a marketplace for private gain. The question remains, will the American people rise up to this challenge and demand the accountability that's so desperately needed? Only time will tell, but we must keep pushing forward. This is the time to ensure that the presidency remains a symbol of integrity, not an auction block. Keep speaking out. Keep asking questions, because if we don't, this kind of corruption might be just the beginning.